I'm Valerie Bertinelli. You may know me from Kids Baking Championship or Valerie's Home Cooking. Today, we're making chicken with creamy fennel, leeks, and mushrooms. It is such a decadent dish, easy to put together in one pot. Make sure you have a nice big skillet that can fit 4 chicken breasts. Make sure all your veggies are in front of you and we can get started. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your leeks are very clean. Leeks tend to get super dirty because they grow in the dirt and they're covered up. So when they take them out, they're so tightly hugged together that the dirt just kind of sits in there and stays. So here's what we do. We're going to cut the roots off. And then we're going to cut the tails off because we just want the light green. The dark green tends to get a little tough. Even cooking it down, it's still going to get very tough. So we're going to cut it right up here. I'm going to do that to both of them. Now, we're also going to cut them in the shapes that we want to cook them in, and then we're going to clean them. That way we know that every ounce of dirt is going to get out of them. So we want to cut them down the middle because we want little half moons. And leeks are from the onion family. They're a super mild version of an onion. And they are so tasty when you cook them down. They just kind of melt into any kind of cream sauce. They're really quite a beautiful addition. And they are springtime to me. They scream springtime. Look at all these beautiful, the way they just kind of, it's just like a deck of cards. There's all of these great layers. So what we want to do is get them down together. We can do both at the same time. And just we're going to cut them the way we want them to melt into the sauce. So it's going to give us a beautiful, subtle onion flavor and a nice texture. We're going to take off these top leaves, too green. And put all of them into a colander. I can even feel the dirt right now. It's just sticking to my hands. They're just covered in dirt. You don't want to be eating the dirt, so we're going to rinse them out. The same to the second leek. Just cut it into little half moons. Springtime is probably my favorite time to cook. Oh, who am I kidding? Anytime's my favorite time to cook. But the produce is so amazing during the spring. Everything just blooms and grows. It's just a great time of year. Even in Southern California, where I live, springtime always brings new produce. All right, so we have all of our leeks in a colander, and now we're going to rinse them, and then let them soak in some water. And then grab yourself another bowl, and get the colander in the bowl, and then just fill it up, and let them just really soak. This is also what I do with clams. When I want to clean them, I'll get them in a big bowl of cold water and just let them soak for a little while and let them release all the dirt. Maybe a little bit more. Just want to cover them. There we go. So while your leeks release all their dirt, we can get started on our chicken. But before we start pounding our chicken, we want to get some flavor on this chicken. So get yourself some thyme leaves. This is going to be our seasoning. Thyme and chili flakes and salt and pepper. And with thyme, it really is super easy to get all the leaves off. You just kind of grab from the top and pull all the way down, and you're left with the woody stem, and you throw that away. And the rest you keep. It smells so good when you pull them from the stem. It's just such, again, spring. It's a lovely, lovely aroma. And just pull them down. We're going to pound the seasoning into the chicken while we tenderize the chicken and get it to a nice, even thickness. That should be enough. If not, we have more. We can always get more. So we got our thyme leaves on the side of the board. Now we need to go get our chicken. Whatever board you pound your chicken on, make sure it's something that you can take away and you don't cut your veggies on the same board that you have raw meat on. It's dangerous. You don't want to cross-contaminate in your kitchen. So pull your parchment and you've exposed these beautiful breasts. But like I was saying, you see how thick it is on one side and how thin this is? We want to pound this out so it's more even. First, we want to get some salt. Salt up, just one side for now. I'll leave my salt here because I'm going to need it again. Then you want to get those thyme leaves all over your chicken. Saving enough for the other side. And then those chili flakes, you want to grab some of those. Add a tiny bit of heat, but not so much that it's going to burn off your mouth. Unless, of course, you like a lot of heat, then have at it. Have fun. They're your chicken breasts. You're cooking. Now, get that parchment back on top. Grab a mallet, a meat tenderizer, use the flat side, or if you don't have one of these, you can grab a rolling pin. That will help too. You just want to flatten and tenderize and actually also get all of the herbs and the flavor pounded into the breast. So go have some fun. Let's pound away, shall we? I love doing this because not only does it tenderize your chicken and give you a more even surface for them to cook, but you get your aggressions out too. This is for the person that cut me off on the freeway. I mean, seriously, you could have gone around the other way. Why did you have to go right in front of me? I didn't do anything to you. You having fun pounding your chicken? Okay, let's flip it around. So take your breasts, get under there with both hands. Make sure you've got the other side of the parchment there, okay? And just flip it, just like that. I can still see that I need to pound some up here more to help with the thickness. So it's a good thing I need to season this side, right? Let's get some salt on. And we're not using black pepper because we're using chili flakes. There's your pepper flavor. And then the thyme goes right back on this side now. I'll take all the thyme I could get, that's for sure, especially at this age. Just asking for more thyme, that's all. Now let's pound a little bit more, mainly to get the seasoning back in, but also to make sure that we've got an even cooking surface. There we go. All right, let's get our pan heated up, okay? So we've got a nice saute pan right here. Let's get some olive oil in there. Get your heat on. Are you getting nice and hot? Hot enough for our chicken? I want to make sure the entire surface is covered in oil. Make sure that you do have a saute pan that will fit all 4 breasts. This is going to be a little tight, but it's okay. And what we're doing, this is actually the beginning of our sauce. We're sauteing the chicken in this oil. Then we're going to take the chicken out and then build our sauce in there. So all the flavor that's in this chicken is going to be in that oil, and that's going to be the base of our sauce. So let's get the chicken on. Get some tongs. And get it right in. There we go. gonna do one little thing, get some oil on the sides here so it doesn't stick. There we go. It's good to clean your work surface really well after you've dealt with raw meat, so let's do that. While the chicken sautés, we can get the rest of the veggies together. We've got this beautiful bulb of fennel. I really love, love, love fennel. It's got this beautiful, subtle anise flavor. When you cook it down, it becomes so tender and the flavor just mellows out. It's really lovely. So we're gonna get a half of this bulb. I'm gonna slice it in half moons. Oops. You guys go over here. Get the first slice off. Slice it as thin as you possibly can. If you want to use a mandolin, you can do that. Because you really want them to get super tender in this cream sauce we're going to build up. Now, a lot of people like to cut the core of the fennel out. I love it. I love every bit of it, so I'm going to keep it in. If you don't want the core, you can cut that out. Feel free. There we go. Just get that to the side, because now we're going to do our mushrooms. Got some beautiful, freshly cleaned mushrooms. And then you just slice them right down. And these are going to get nice and tender in the broth too. Keeping an eye on the chicken. The chicken shouldn't take more than 4 or 5 minutes on each side, because remember we pounded it. So it's not going to take as long to cook on one side. You know, I've gotten into the habit of just cutting the stems off of mushrooms just because I like the shape. But especially with shiitake, they're just a bit more woody and tough. I'm thinking that chicken looks like it's ready to be flipped. So I'm going to slice one more shiitake. And then flipperoonie. Take a look at your chicken too, if you're cooking along with me, and see how it's gotten very opaque on the edges. It means it's probably time to be flipped. Also, what will tell us is if it gives. If it doesn't want to give, this one wants to be flipped. It gave very, very easily. This was the second one we put down. Again, it really gave easily. This was the third one, I believe, that we put in. It's also given. They're all telling me that they want to be flipped. Woo! And this guy. Yep. These guys are looking beautiful. So another 4 minutes on this side should give me just enough time to finish the shiitake mushrooms. Should give you enough time too. If it doesn't, if you're still chopping away on your fennel or whatever it is, then just make sure that you get these guys out after 4 minutes. There, our mushrooms are chopped. I hope yours are chopped too. If not, just press pause and I'll wait. Or if you finish chopping your mushrooms before me, good on you. Go for it. Let's check our leeks. See if they release some dirt. I don't know how dirty these guys were. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's get rid of that water, because we're going to need this bowl. I'm going to give them one more rinse because I never trust. I have trust issues. You should know that about me. All right. Now we want these guys to just drain in the bowl. So you don't want them to get too wet when we put them into the hot pan. So we have our fennel, we have our mushrooms, and we have our leeks ready to go. So as soon as our chicken comes out, we can start building our sauce. All right, time to take the chicken out. Grab yourself a plate or a sheet pan, whatever you got. Take your chicken out, and we're going to let it rest while we build the sauce. All right, let's get this to the side, and we can build our sauce. Look at all this gorgeous color on the bottom of the pan. That is all flavor. So we're going to add a little bit more olive oil, because now we're going to add our veggies. Get your leeks. Make sure they're nice and drained and clean. They look good. And get that right into your saute pan. There you go. Stir that around. Okay. Right. Now our fennel. Get all that in. And our mushrooms. Put them all in. Now we're just going to saute these guys until they cook down. And add a little bit of salt. Just a little bit more salt. And some pepper. We're just looking for these to soften, cook down a little bit, release some of their water. You can see as the heat hits the leeks, look at how bright green they get. They really turn into this gorgeous, vibrant color. That's what we're looking for. Look at how these have cooked down so beautifully. They look so tender. You can see the mushrooms have gotten smaller. It's really tenderized. Look at that. That's so beautiful. So I think we're ready for our white wine, because I want to show you here where you see all of these brown dots and brown places on your saute pan. That's flavor we don't want to let go of. So we're going to get a 1/4 cup of wine, white wine, in here, and we're going to deglaze. And as it deglazes and evaporates, the alcohol will evaporate, and you're left with just the lovely flavor of the wine. And that's why I think it's so important that you actually deglaze with wine that you enjoy drinking, because you're going to taste it. You won't taste the alcohol because that will evaporate off, but you will taste the wine. So you want wine that you enjoy. And you can see how quickly it evaporates. There's not much left there, but we do want to get all those bits. That's gorgeous. Okay, and it even smells divine. So we want a cup of cream. This is 16 ounces, so we're going to use half of this. You want to get this in all around, and this is going to give you your beautiful creamy sauce. This should just be on a mellow medium heat. You're just looking for the cream to incorporate with all the veggies. And just got to give this some time. Not a lot, just enough for the cream to thicken up and become a sauce with all the juices from the chicken that were in here and the juices from the mushrooms and the leeks and the fennel. It's all adding flavor. I'm going to pop in a little bit more salt. Season as you go, always. And just keep rubbing the edges, making sure you get all those brown bits into your sauce. You turn the heat even lower. This happens to be on a high heat burner. You can see all the bubbles happening. That's just more of the water evaporating, thickening up the sauce. It's a really beautiful simmer. And now what I want to do is grab your chicken breasts that you've had sitting and just get them back in one at a time and let them nestle in this beautiful mixture that you just made. And this, you can actually serve your dinner just like this in the pan you cooked it in. Just nestle them right in there. That is a beautiful meal. Let me show you how you plate it, because you really want to take advantage of all of those veggies that you sauteed and got beautifully tender. So we're going to grab a piece of chicken. And then we're really going to grab a lot of those veggies and put it right over the chicken. So you've got your mushrooms, you've got your tender leeks, your tender fennel, and it goes right over. And then I happen to have a little extra thyme. Don't we all wish we had extra time? Well, this time I definitely have extra time. So just get a little bit more right over, just that little bit of freshness of thyme. Dinner for 4, ready just like that. Let's take a bite. Just want to get right in there. All the veggies with the tender chicken. That looks divine. You guys, this is the bomb. It's so good. So rich in flavor, so beautifully bright. The chicken is so tender because you pounded it, and then you got that surprise anise flavor. It's just so lovely. I hope that you serve this. Everybody loves it.